All right, let's talk some Niners here. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. It is Thanksgiving Eve. Hopefully everybody out there is having a great Wednesday, and I hope you all have some great plans on Thanksgiving. You can hang out with some friends and family members and, of course, take down some really good food. Niners not playing on Thanksgiving, but San Francisco in action on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. We'll be doing a watch party for that game, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and join us for that. But also, hit that subscribe button because anytime there's breaking news, I always have you covered right here on this show, and that's where we begin. The 49ers today making a couple of roster moves. The Niners signed veteran linebacker Eric Kendricks to the practice squad. They have released Stone Blanton once again, and this is a pretty notable move for San Francisco, bringing in a very well-accomplished and notable player. Kendricks, a 10-year NFL veteran. He's lasted a decade in this league. That's worth celebrating for him. And if you remember, last year, he had signed a one-year contract with the Niners in free agency during that legal tampering period. He agreed to that deal verbally. Then he backed out of that agreement to sign a deal with the rival Dallas Cowboys. So then, after the Niners had gotten spurned by Kendricks, who was being brought in as a backup depth linebacker for San Francisco, who did the Niners end up signing? Devondre Campbell. He's not going to go down as a Niners legend. Not only was he bad for the Niners last year, he famously, after pretty much getting benched in place of Dre Greenlaw, and the plan was always for Campbell to be the holdover plan for Greenlaw, he walked off the field at Levi's Stadium during the game, and he was never seen from that point forward again. So Devondre Campbell's time with the Niners was a disaster. It was almost Kendricks, and now Kendricks, after all these months, has officially signed with San Francisco here. Now, he went to the Cowboys last year. He played under defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, who he was a great player under when Kendricks played for the Minnesota Vikings, and Zimmer was the head coach there. Kendricks, a year ago, started in 15 games for the Cowboys, and he recorded 138 combined tackles, 2 picks, 3 passes defended, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 3 sacks. He had 4 TFLs and 3 quarterback hits. Frankly surprised that he didn't sign with the team because, yes, he's an older player. He's not who he once was, but last year for Dallas, I actually thought he played very well. And we talk about him being a well-accomplished player. He was a first-team All-Pro back in 2019, and he was also named a Pro Bowler in his career. And his durability has been really impressive. 6 feet, 232 pounds. He played his college football at UCLA. His brother Michael Kendricks, a good player for the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time. And for Kendricks here, every year except his rookie year, he is combined for over 100 tackles. That never is an indication that a player is an elite player, but he's durable, he's consistent, and at least he is a sure-handed tackler. So his rookie year, 92 total tackles. From that point forward, every year since 2016, he has had 100 or more tackles. That is 9 straight years of going over the century mark as far as his tackles. And the pass breakup numbers over time have been pretty good, starting in year 2, 9, 6, 7, 12, 6, 4, 6, 6, and 3. He was with Minnesota 2015 to 2022, and then he signed with the Chargers. He was there in 2023, then played with the Dallas Cowboys last year. So for this juncture of the season, to bring in a veteran player who's this accomplished, who's this good, who's pretty much seen everything that you could see at the NFL level, I like this move for San Francisco. Of course, a lot of you are probably asking the question, Chase, why did the Niners make this move? Well, Fred Warner, out for the year, broken ankle. Tatum Bethune, out for a few weeks because of a high ankle sprain. And so the other night, against Carolina on Monday Night Football, Curtis Robinson got the start, and he did not play well. He gave up 3 catches on 3 targets. He was the lowest graded Niner on Monday night. And he's been a special teamer for a reason. Now, that was his first start of his career, but the Niners here are extremely thin at the linebacker spot. We'll see if Kendricks could start in this game against Cleveland. That wouldn't shock me. Obviously, with him being in the league this long, he's a very smart player, and he's been the Mike linebacker for some really good defenses. And so Eric Kendricks to the Niners after all of this time. And I think that he's going to be elevated to the active game day roster from the practice squad. And again, it wouldn't surprise me if he starts. At the very least, I think he's going to get some action. I'm not sure at this point what Nick Martin has to do to get on the field, because when he's been on the field, he's popped. And he's made some really good plays in the preseason and limited amount of snaps in the regular season. But obviously, a young player, a rookie. Niners are 8-4. They're trying to win right now. They're thin at linebacker, and so they're bringing in Kendricks to help them there. As far as the latest on Brandon Aiyuk, according to Mike Silver, Diana Rubicini, last Friday they had the report that Aiyuk and the Niners likely headed toward a divorce because he didn't show up for a lot of team meetings, and the Niners voided his 2026 guarantees. That makes him movable, whether it be by trade or release. Jeremy Fowler had some updates here on Aiyuk. Oh, yeah, this too. Niners not opening up the practice window for Aiyuk, Jacob Cowling, or Yetur Gross-Matos this week. Niners do have a bye week next week, and then hopefully Yetur Gross-Matos and Jacob Cowling can join the team after that. Here's what Fowler said about Aiyuk. A few people I've checked with believe an issue with Aiyuk's contract being voided was his failure to show up for rehab appointments during the offseason. Either he didn't trust the trainers or didn't want to show up. Either way, an unwillingness to properly rehab a significant knee injury as the team sees fit. That's typically easy grounds for a guarantee void. Most around the league expect the situation to ultimately lead to Aiyuk's release. However, Jeremy Fowler did say this: a few teams I spoke to believe Aiyuk is slightly more tradable with the voided guarantees, though the option money still technically is on the books. Reworking his deal altogether would be the preferred method, and Aiyuk might not want that. Getting released and hitting free agency in March would be the cleanest path for him, and he would have suitors. He's only 27, had more than 1,300 yards in 2023. So a couple of things there. You suffer an ACL tear, an MCL tear, and a meniscus tear. I know that the Niners have had all of these injuries and players might not trust the medical staff, but when the team just gave you a $76 million contract and $30 million per year and you suffer that type of injury, they're going to want you in-house. They're going to want you rehabbing. They're going to want to keep close tabs on you to see how you're faring in that recovery. Pretty simple. So if you're not showing up to those types of things, kind of tells the team you're blowing them off. You're not taking your rehab seriously. I just don't get the thought process there from Aiyuk. I think he's gotten a lot of bad advice over the last year and a half since the Niners lost that Super Bowl. Another thing, too, I would be floored if a team traded for Aiyuk. Here's why. They're just going to wait for the Niners to release him, because then they can sign him to a much cheaper contract. Yes, the 2026 voids make him more tradable, but why would a team want to give up something for Aiyuk and still pay him a lot of money when they don't know the person they are getting or the player they are getting with him coming off that knee injury? I don't think it makes any sense, and I think it's bad business for any team to trade for Aiyuk. Yeah, he might be more tradable because of the contract voids, but I don't think it would be a smart move for a team to trade for BA, and I just don't think he has a lot of value with the contract and because of the injury. And I think for him, Fowler pointed that out, I think he's so unhappy with the Niners, he's not even fighting this with the NFL Players Association. He clearly wants to go somewhere else and choose where he goes. What a saga. Stunning, shocking how it's developed over time. All right, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Just wanted to hop on the mic, give you that Niners news. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you soon.